Taking pictures is too easy. Not more than a double handful of years ago, if you wanted to snap a photograph, you needed to consider your film, filter, lighting, framing, and camera, take the time to perfectly frame up your shot, and maybe you'd get a nice photo for your troubles. Today you can burst fire shots from your phone, leaving you with a lot of worthless, subpar snapshots that disrespect you, your subjects, and the tools you're using. Don't be that person. Learn to take high-quality pictures using any gear on hand and be proud of your selfies and snapshots. Photography takes a lifetime to master, and even then you'll have new ideas, techniques, and equipment to learn. That's the bad news. On the other side of the coin, you can use a few simple tactics to enhance every shot you take that might not be mastery, but will make every shutter click in vast improvement that can help you get a nice family photo, an excellent group shot, a gorgeous landscape, or the perfect Tinder profile pic. Best of all, you don't need a fancy camera. Here's the 13 best photography tricks for beginners. Get down. Placing yourself above the subject you're trying to photograph might be slimming for selfies, but it's also far weaker photography. The reason for this is it detaches the viewer from the photo. They feel floating above, uninterested, apart from what is seen. It takes away the immersion and much of the humanity of a photo, even if you're not photographing humans. Staying eye level or lower than your subject adds drama and brings the viewer into intimate contact with the picture. Widen your aperture. If you're focusing on how many megapixels your camera or smartphone has, you're only getting a portion of the story. The other side of it is the aperture. The aperture on a camera determines how much light is getting in and works along with shutter speed to determine how bright or drab a photograph appears. By using a wide aperture, you have greater flexibility with how you shoot your subject, and it will change the overall lighting and look of every picture. Blur it up. This goes along with having a wide aperture. Simply put, your subjects will pop more in a photograph if they are sharply in focus while the background and foreground are blurrier. By using a wide aperture, you accomplish this naturally, which is particularly good at adding drama to a shot. If you're using a smartphone, which generally has little to no aperture control, you may need to go back and do the blurring yourself, though getting much closer to your subject will have a similar effect. Get in tight. Moving in close to a subject is never a bad idea. Tight shots reveal far more than wide ones, allowing you as the photographer to find the artistry inherent in everyday things, and allowing your camera to capture things even your naked eye didn't notice. This is yet another way to add a sense of immediacy and intimacy to every shot. Avoid center framing. Generally speaking, framing the subject of a photo dead in the center is not ideal, unless perhaps you're doing a magazine cover. Even then, there's typically text to make the image more interesting. Most photographers suggest cutting the picture into thirds, both from left to right and top to bottom, with your primary subject set off to one of the sides, at least slightly. As with getting at or below the level of your subject, this adds drama, immersion, and context to pictures. The viewer feels more engaged in a picture if it doesn't feel quite so much like a photo but a natural moment in time. Make it manual. Trusting your camera to do the work of setting up a shot is rarely going to give you the best results. You need go to manual mode and take time to play with all the settings, from lighting to shutter speed to exposure to white balance. Your camera or smartphone might be able to guess what you want, but only you know the effect you're trying to achieve. By altering everything by hand, you do more work, but get more personalized results. Every angle. Think of how quickly a room you knew became a frightening place when you were a child. The only thing that actually changed was the lighting. That's why it is important to capture subjects from lots of different sides. Light plays differently from where you are and what direction you're shooting, so if you're only working with one outlook, you're likely missing the best framing. Get angles of all kinds, good, bad, and strange, to find what you're seeking. Shoot a lot. This is the most basic photography trick, but it doesn't go without saying, the more shots you have, the more good shots you have. True, you're going to throw away lots, but most models and photographers toss away about 200 photos for every one they keep. Have that in mind. Don't fear Photoshop. There's nothing wrong with touching up a picture using Photoshop or GIMP, if you want the free option, and YouTube is loaded with tutorials to help you learn the ins and outs. Though there's a daunting amount of power in image manipulation programs, focus on bite-sized pieces. We suggest going to Flern's YouTube channel, as they've got loads of fun stuff that will get you learning without realizing it. Learn leading lines. Our eyes will naturally follow any lines in a picture. This will naturally draw people into anything you're photographing. The trick here is to use natural lines, either structures, various terrains and textures, or anything in the environment that seems to aim at something as it disappears into the distance. Give a sense of symmetry. People are bilateral creatures that are acclimated to looking at our own faces, which are natural mirror images when cut in half. This gives us a love of symmetry. Either by splitting a photo into two parts that are basically repetitions of one another, or having different aspects radiate out from a single point, defined by leading lines, we feel more pleased with a photo than if it feels flat. Use natural framing. Combining the rule of thirds with leading lines will give us natural frames in our photographs. Using the sky and the ground as top and bottom, we can create an innate frame within a frame that highlights our subject between the earth and the heavens. These lateral lines should be considered even when photographing indoors, as we tend to think of everything as being above, level, or below ourselves. Use that relative relationship to your advantage. Experiment. There's no wrong way to take pictures, there's just ways that capture what you want and ways that don't. There's also what you like and what you don't, but the only way to learn your style is to do it wrong and play with the format. And here are some good photoapparats for some. A simple point and shoot is the only camera they will ever need. It captures the special moments of birthdays and celebrations with no muss, no fuss, and very little skill. They can snap a few shots, try not to cut off the tops of anyone's heads, and be done. For others, photography takes hold of the psyche in a way previously unfathomed, and becomes an obsession without rival. When you wake one day to find that you absolutely must be able to capture the transient beauty of raindrops on your window sill, or perfectly preserve the smile of the stranger at the bus stop, it may be time to consider upgrading your equipment. While you follow your passion and work on becoming the next Michael Kenner, equip yourself with one of these excellent cameras for amateur photographers. Nikon D3300 with a DX format 24.2 megapixel CMOS sensor and EXP-EED4 image processor, the Nikon D3300 is a find for any would-be artist. It's space-efficient and adaptable, perfect for high-resolution imaging, low-light shoots, and full HD 1080p video recording. The D3300 offers a variety of shooting modes, from easy panorama to picture control, which allows for in-camera adjustment of color and contrast. An 18 to 55 mm lens comes included, along with a 16 GB memory card, a rugged Commando shoulder bag, and a Nikon WU-1A wireless mobile adapter. A perfect choice for a shutterbug on the move. Purchase: 447 Canon EOS Rebel S01. When shooting fast in a flurry of activity, the EOS Rebel S01 is your friend. The hybrid CMOS AF2 increases speed and accuracy when utilizing the live view, and a 9-point autofocus system allows you to snap away without concern that your pictures will blur with the viewfinder. 1040p high-resolution touchscreen puts settings changes and touch autofocus right at your fingertips, while smear-resistant coating on the monitor keeps things clear in any weather. The starter pack comes complete with an 18 to 55 mm lens, perfect for building on with later additions. Purchase: 500 Nikon D3400. Intended for burgeoning photographers, the Nikon D3400 instructs and assists with its helpful guide mode, taking you through the process and ensuring that your photographs are perfect. Easy to use at any skill level, lightweight and portable, wherever the muse strikes you will be able to capture the moment with the D3400. Then, using your phone or tablet, connect to the internet using Nikon SnapBridge to share that moment with the world. A 24.2 megapixel DX format CMOS image sensor captures the world around you in stunning detail, while the 18 to 55 VR lens gives you customization potential. Purchase: 500 Pentax K50. If you dream of becoming a creative photographer, the Pentax K50 will provide you with just about everything but the skills. The SAFOXIXI Plus autofocus system streamline the photography process, while raw image processing and HDR shooting capabilities give you minute control over your picture. A 16.3 megapixel APS-C-sized CMOS sensor and Prime-M image processing engine ensures high quality at a high operating speed. If film is a part of your creative vision, the Pentax K50 supports HD 1080p video recording up to 30 fps and HD 720p recording up to 60 fps. The camera itself is weatherproof polycarbonate and stainless steel, so you can take to the road, documenting every storm along the way. Purchase: 562 Canon EOS Rebel T6i, 750D. The Canon EOS Rebel comes with everything you will want to set yourself up in a life of photographic obsession. Not only does it have the Canon FS 18 to 55 mm f, 3.5 to 5.6 is 2 lens one would expect, but it also includes a second Canon f 75 to 300 mm f, 4 to 5.63 lens, for distance shots, a 58mm HD wide-angle lens, a 2.2x telephoto lens, 2.32 GB commander cards, and an extra battery. If you're eager to jump in with both feet, taking photographs in a plethora of styles, of every subject under the sun and maybe even the sun itself, the EOS Rebel provides you the extras you need to reach and exceed your wildest dreams. Purchase, $570.